All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new watch from Deep Blue. This is the DayNight PC. This is the USA edition. Pretty obvious why it's called the USA edition because of that big flag there on the dial of the watch. But I picked this one up recently during a Father's Day sale. This one was $149 plus tax and shipping. It was very inexpensive, and I really liked it. I already have in my collection, this is the DayNight Stealth Ops. And this is a 44 millimeter watch, 200 meters water resistance. Really cool watch, and I really enjoy wearing this watch quite a bit. And so I went ahead and picked up this one. Now, one of the big things I want to talk about is the size of this watch. This watch is advertised as a 44 millimeter, and we'll get the caliper on it here. It's not a 44 millimeter watch. This is a 44 millimeter watch, but I think you guys can probably look at this one and say, I don't think that's 44 millimeters, but we'll talk about the size of it as we go through it. But I really like the flag on the dial, you know, God bless America, and the tritium tubes on this. This has T100 tritium tubes, and once we get it in the darkness, you'll see that they're red, white, and blue, which is pretty cool. You've got blue on the indices coming around to the hour hand, red, and then you've got white also on there, which is really, really cool. So go ahead and get the crown pushed in on this watch. That's another thing we're going to talk about on this watch and get into it. But first of all, let's talk specifications. Now, like I said, this watch on the website says 44 millimeters. Well, if you look at this right there, I'm getting some big numbers. Let's make sure we're zeroed out here. Let's go ahead and zero this thing out. And let's go ahead and look at this case. Now, not including the bezel, I'm looking at 45.7. So I'm going to say that this is going to be a 46 millimeter watch. So they're off by about 1 millimeter on either side of the watch. So if that's going to be a killer for you, just letting you know that. Length of the case from north to south, you're just over 50 millimeters, about 51. And then thickness on this one comes in at 14.1. So definitely a bigger watch than advertised, I'll say, at the Deep Blue website. That kind of caught me off guard at first. It was funny because I put it on and I thought, gosh, it feels bigger. It looks bigger. This is a true 44 millimeter watch. And I'm going to show you some of the differences between these two and the construction, everything like that. But I thought at first it was because of the white and the white, excuse me, indices on the bezel that were making it look bigger. I thought that's what it was. And then I finally busted out the caliper. I'm like, no, it is. It's 2 millimeters bigger. So keep that in mind if you're going to pick up the watch. Is it a deal killer for me? No, for $149. It's a fun watch to wear. As far, not that I'm in any kind of operational use, but as far as operational use goes, it's super visible. It's super legible. It's a big watch, so it's not going to be any problem reading the time on this one. So I do think that's a bonus with this watch. So you got the specifications of the watch there. Let's talk about the bezel action. Nice, crispy. I think there's a 120 click bezel here. Nice and crispy, locks in really good on this watch. You do have a tritium insert up there at the 12 o'clock position. Nice bright indices all the way around on the bezel. The knurling is nice, not going to have a problem with that. The case, if you're not familiar on these watches, it's super lightweight. This watch weighs under 3 ounces altogether. But the case on this is CRFP. I think that's right, but it's, no, CFRP, carbon fiber reinforced plastic. And I got to tell Deep Blue, I appreciate you telling me exactly what it is, because so many companies out there, including big brands, are using this material to make watches cases out of it, and they're calling it all kinds of fancy different stuff. But basically what they are is the carbon fiber dust mixed with plastic to create carbon fiber reinforced plastic cases for watches. It's very efficient. It works really well. It's very anti-magnetic, so I got no problem with it. Interestingly enough, this 4 o'clock crown on this watch is not a screw down crown. It's a push-pull crown on this watch, so simply pulling it out to the first position is going to allow you to set the date. Pulling out to that second position is going to allow you to do the time changes on the watch there. So, you know, the question I have for you guys as far as watch guys go, is this going to work out? 200 meters of water resistance, non-screw down crown. I know historically Luminox has used that on their watches, and I'm not sure that they've had any kind of a problem with that, but I think that's interesting. This is truly a screw down crown here on the DayNight Stealth Ops. This is 200 meters also, but this is a screw down crown. One of the other things I want to note a difference is if you look at the case back on this one, it is your standard, you know, screw down style case back. On this watch here, we're going to go ahead and open this up here and take a quick look at it. This one actually has screws holding the case back down. So it's definitely different construction. I'm not sure if they're using a different contractor making this, but I do like the back of this watch. But you can see this one has 4 screws holding it down versus the actual screw down case back. What that means on a carbon fiber reinforced plastic case, I don't know. I don't think that makes that big of a difference. But, just letting you know that. So overall, the watch is great. We can't talk about finish really on this type of a case, but, stick hands on there. We'll show the glow at the end. You'll get that red, white, and blue glow. But stick hands, clean sweep of that second hand is provided by a Seiko NH35 movement, which of course has date functionality down here at the 4 o'clock position. But let's go ahead and pause it for a second, get this big boy on my smaller wrist and see what it looks like, and then be sure to stick around for that loom. All right, so like I said, it is a big watch. As you guys can see, my wrist right now is just under 7 inches, probably 6 3/4, maybe a little over 6.5. So it's a big watch, but it weighs hardly anything. And so if you want a really legible watch, I'm 55 years old and my eyes are getting old. So having a watch like this means I'm not gonna have any problem reading it. I'm not gonna have any problem reading the bezel at a distance. So there's the benefit of that. Some people like wearing a big watch, and one of the drawbacks for me with wearing a really big, especially stainless steel watch, is the weight of it on my wrist. That's not going to be a problem with this watch. Very lightweight, like I said, under 3 ounces, full weight on the strap, so not going to be a problem. Let's get this one in the darkness and see what that red, white, and blue loom looks like. All right, so there you go. There you have it, the red, white, and blue loom. I think it's really cool. I like that, and that's really one of the big reasons I actually picked this watch up, was because of that loom. So, all right, guys, you like the video? Give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. If you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.